Welcome back to the channel where we explore the hidden treasures of American coinage and reveal the incredible stories behind ordinary-looking coins. Today we are diving into a coin that many people have seen 1,000 times without giving it a second thought, the United States 1-cent coin from the year 1989 with no mint mark. This small copper-colored piece of money may look just like every other penny in circulation, but in rare cases it holds a secret value that can change the life of the person who discovers it. The Lincoln cent is one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it quickly became a symbol of pride and respect. By 1989 the design had already been in use for 80 years, yet it was still an everyday coin in the pockets of millions of Americans. The obverse carries the dignified portrait of President Lincoln, while the reverse in that year still displayed the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This familiar design was struck by the millions at different mints across the country. Normally, coins made at the Denver Mint carry a small D mark, while coins from San Francisco feature an S mark. Coins made at Philadelphia usually have no mint mark at all, but certain varieties stand out in ways that collectors find incredibly rare and desirable. The 1989 cent is one of those cases. While most people see nothing but an ordinary penny, collectors with trained eyes know that a 1989 cent with no mint mark, especially in flawless condition, is a true treasure of numismatics. Why is this coin so special? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and collector demand. In coin collecting, those three elements are what separate pocket change from a masterpiece. Millions of these pennies were struck, but only a handful survive in the type of exceptional condition that excites collectors and auction houses. When a coin is free from scratches, has its original shine, and shows every detail of the design clearly, it becomes highly desirable. Think about the journey of a coin from the moment it leaves the mint. Most are tossed into cash registers, dropped in piggy banks, or carried in wallets where they quickly become scratched, dirty, and worn. But every now and then a few escape that fate. They are saved by accident, forgotten in a roll, or kept away from circulation. These are the coins that surface decades later in brilliant condition, and those are the ones that command astonishing prices when collectors recognize their value. The thrill of coin collecting is that anyone can make a discovery. You do not need to be an expert with a huge budget. All you need is a sharp eye and some patience. People have pulled rare coins out of their spare change, out of old jars in the attic, or even from circulation at the local store. Imagine buying a cup of coffee with a handful of change only to realize later that one of those pennies could be worth a fortune. That is the magic of the 1989 no mint mark cent. When you examine a penny from that year, look just below the date on the obverse. If you see no mint mark, and the coin looks sharp, lustrous, and virtually untouched, you may be holding something extraordinary. Collectors and auction houses are constantly searching for such coins. And the prices they are willing to pay might shock you. Now here is the part you have been waiting for. While most 1989 pennies will never be worth more than a single cent, the rare and highly desirable 1989 no mint mark penny in pristine condition has sold for an unbelievable amount of money. One of these coins reached the value of $50,000. In the world of coin collecting, sometimes the smallest and most ordinary-looking coins hide secrets worth a fortune. And today, we're going to uncover one of those fascinating stories. The spotlight is on the United States of America 1-cent coin from the year 1996, struck with the Denver Mint mark. At first glance, it may look like just another Lincoln penny, the kind you might find jingling in your pocket or resting at the bottom of an old jar. But here's the truth: under the right conditions, this coin has the potential to be worth far more than its humble face value. Let's take a step back and think about the penny itself. The Lincoln cent has been a part of American history since 1909, when it was first introduced to celebrate the centennial of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became an instant icon, featuring Lincoln's portrait on the front and for many decades the wheat ears on the back, later replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. By the time 1996 came around, the Lincoln Memorial design had already been in use for nearly 40 years. Millions upon millions of pennies poured out of the Denver Mint that year, stamped with the familiar D Mint mark under the date. Most of these coins were destined for everyday use, buying newspapers, snacks, or simply getting lost in couches and piggy banks. Now here's where things get interesting. Not all coins are created equal. Even though the Denver Mint is famous for producing coins in massive numbers, a handful of coins struck in 1996 came out with extraordinary features. Some were perfectly struck with almost no imperfections, shimmering with luster that makes them look as though they've never been touched. Others slipped through with unusual minting errors, maybe a slight doubling in the lettering, a weak strike, or an off-center design. To the average eye, these details might go unnoticed. But to coin collectors, they are golden opportunities. These small quirks transform an ordinary penny into a rare collectible that could command attention in the marketplace. Collectors often talk about condition, and in the world of coins, condition means everything. Coins graded at the very top by professional grading services, flawless, untouched, with every detail sharp and bold, can skyrocket in value. Imagine holding a penny that looks like it was struck yesterday, despite being nearly 3 decades old. That level of preservation is extremely rare, and it's what collectors dream about finding. But there's another angle to consider. The story behind the coin matters just as much as the coin itself. A 1996 D penny is not just metal, it's a snapshot of history. Think about the year 1996, the world was changing rapidly, technology was advancing, and in the background, these tiny coins were being produced in vast numbers. Every one of them carries a little piece of that era, a connection between past and present. And out of all those countless coins, just a handful managed to survive in pristine condition, waiting to surprise us decades later. So why do collectors chase after coins like this? It's the thrill of discovery. The idea that you could stumble across something so valuable in the most unexpected place is what fuels this hobby. You might open an old drawer, roll a few coins from the bank, or even check your change from the grocery store, and suddenly, you're holding a rare treasure. For many collectors, that possibility is more exciting than anything else. The 1996 D penny, in its rarest and finest form, has proven its worth in auctions and private sales. While most of these coins remain at their regular face value, a select few have risen to jaw-dropping heights. Collectors are willing to pay enormous sums to own the very best examples, coins that stand out from the millions as truly extraordinary. And here's the moment you've been waiting for. The highest value recorded for a 1996 D Lincoln cent reached an astounding $45,000. That's right, a single penny, something most of us wouldn't think twice about spending, has sold for the price of a luxury car or even a small home. So the next time you're handed a penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. You never know if that tiny coin in your hand might be hiding a secret worth thousands. The hidden treasures of American coins. Today, we are going to dive deep into the story of the United States 1-cent coin from 1974 without a mint mark. At first glance, it may look like just another ordinary penny that you could find in your pocket or your coin jar at home. But do not be fooled, because this small copper coin has a story that surprises collectors and investors all around the world. The year 1974 was a very interesting time in American coinage. The United States Mint was experimenting with different metals because copper had become more expensive. This meant that in addition to the usual copper cents, there were test strikes made of other materials like aluminum and bronze-coated steel. All of this experimentation created a lot of mystery and excitement for collectors. Most people in the general public had no idea what was happening behind the scenes at the mint, but now, decades later, coin experts and hobbyists know just how special the coins from 1974 can be. When we talk about mint marks, they tell us where the coin was struck. A D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, and if there is no mint mark at all, that usually means the coin was made in Philadelphia. The 1974 no mint mark penny was struck in Philadelphia, but what makes it valuable is not just the missing letter. The true importance lies in its rarity, its condition, and the historical context. Collectors pay very close attention to details such as sharpness of the strike, how much original luster is left on the surface, and whether the coin has any marks or scratches. A coin that has survived in nearly flawless condition for 50 years can be worth far more than the same coin that has been heavily used in circulation. That is why some 1974 cents are common pocket change, while a rare and pristine example without a mint mark can be worth a fortune. Imagine being a collector searching through rolls of pennies, hoping to stumble upon a treasure. You see the date 1974, you notice no mint mark beneath the date, and you realize you might have found something incredibly special. That feeling of discovery is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. Every coin tells a story of history, economy, and art, but only a few carry the kind of financial reward that shocks the world. Over the years, auction houses have seen bidding wars over rare Lincoln cents. Enthusiasts from across the globe compete to add these unique coins to their collections. It is not just about owning a coin, it is about holding a piece of history that represents a specific time in America's economic story. A simple penny becomes more than just change, it transforms into an artifact of value and prestige. Now, here comes the part that makes jaws drop. While most 1974 no mint mark cents may not be worth more than their face value, the rarest examples in the highest grades have sold for astonishing amounts. A gem-quality 1974 Philadelphia cent without a mint mark has been valued by collectors and experts at a life-changing sum. And yes, one of these coins has been estimated at a record price of $55,000. So the next time you are searching through your pocket change or looking at an old coin collection, pay close attention to those little details. The 1974 no mint mark cent proves that even the smallest coin can hide an unbelievable story and extraordinary value. Today we are going to take a closer look at a coin that almost every American has seen but very few have taken the time to examine carefully. It is the 1-cent coin of the United States of America from the year 2001 with no mint mark. You may have this very coin in your collection or even lying around in a jar of change, but what makes it special is that collectors know certain examples of this penny can be far more valuable than most people imagine. Let's start with the design because every coin tells a story. On the front side of the 2001 penny we see the legendary image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This portrait was created by Victor David Brenner all the way back in 1909 to mark the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Over the decades it has become one of the most iconic portraits in American coinage. Above Lincoln's head are the words "In God We Trust," to the left is the word "Liberty," and to the right is the date 2001. Normally on some coins you would also see a mint mark, a small letter under the date, but in this case there is no mint mark at all. Turning the coin over to the reverse, we see the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was introduced in 1959 to celebrate 150 years since Lincoln's birth. If you look closely you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a detail that collectors always love to point out. Surrounding the design are the words United States of America at the top, E pluribus unum across the upper part of the memorial, and at the bottom the denomination 1 cent. Even though this design was produced by the millions for circulation, every coin has its own journey and its own condition, and that is where the collector's eye comes in. Now let's talk about the minting itself. The Philadelphia Mint produced these pennies in huge numbers during 2001. Unlike the Denver Mint, which uses a D mark, the Philadelphia Mint uses no mint mark on coins like this one. For the general public it might seem like nothing unusual, but collectors know that even among common coins, certain examples stand out. These can be coins struck with exceptional clarity, coins that show strong luster and full detail, or even coins that have unique striking errors. Condition is everything in coin collecting. If a penny from 2001 has been circulating for years, scratched, worn down, or dark in color, it will likely only be worth 1 cent. But if you discover one that has remained in uncirculated condition, with bright red color, strong shine, and no visible wear, then you are looking at a coin that collectors want to own. Professional grading services often examine these coins under magnification to grade them on a numerical scale, and the highest grades bring in the highest values. Imagine this scenario. Someone finds an old penny while searching through a roll of coins from the bank or even from their pocket change. At first glance it looks like any other cent. But then they notice the date 2001, no mint mark, and the coin looks like it was just struck yesterday. After being graded and confirmed to be in a pristine condition, the value skyrockets beyond what most people would ever expect for a single-cent coin. That is the magic of coin collecting. The story of the 2001 penny reminds us that history is not only found in museums or books. It is also found in the coins we use every day. A coin like this connects us to the history of Abraham Lincoln, the history of American money, and the fascinating journey of minting that turned simple metal into a national symbol. Collectors continue to search for these special coins, and when the right example appears at the right time, it can command an extraordinary price. That is why you should always check your change carefully. Because one special 2001 penny with no mint mark in exceptional condition has been known to reach the amazing value of $5,000.